Hey there, folks and friends. Connecting Dots here. It's Monday, June 30th, 2014. Not sure if you caught this story here about this tidal wave that's washed ashore in Odessa, which is in Ukraine. And before I get into that story, I want to explain something here. I know those of you say, or some of you may be wondering, how come he has not been uploading videos on this Ukraine situation? Well, I did over on my forum. I posted some information in there, and the reason why I don't want to is because I don't want to fearmonger. There's too much fearmongering online, and 99.9% of those that are reporting on this story are not telling you the full story. And the full story is that the Illuminati control Putin. Putin is an Illuminati. I don't know what to say to you folks. I've got it on the forum here. You can see his signals, his hand signals. As a matter of fact, all the leaders, all of our presidents, all of our prime ministers in every country, just about all of them, are all New World Order sellouts. I hate to say it. They're sellouts, folks. That's what they are. They're sellouts. They don't care about you. This is what Michael Jackson was trying to tell you. They don't care about us. Who's they? It's the Illuminati. Now, to make it more evident is that the reason why I really don't want to, it even became more evident, was in December 2013, Tom Clancy, who was a friend of George Bush during the war, that would be George Bush Jr., he was a friend of his during the war, and Tom Clancy, you may recall him if you're a gamer. He came out with a series of video games during the 90s, war games, obviously, first-person action. Long story short, he also wrote some books, and in his books, the most recent one, which was released December 2013, a month before he died. Imagine that. He died a month before the book was released, December 2013. But before that book was released, he'd released one previously, and he said World War III would begin with China asking for its islands back. That's a small group of islands that China's made claims years ago, but more recently they've started up again saying, we want those islands, they belong to us. And if you've been following this story, roughly about 4 or 5 months ago, China actually has dropped a drilling well, oil drilling well here off one of those islands, and they're drilling, and they're waiting to see if anyone's going to put up a fuss about it. Obviously, no one has yet. Now, furthering on here, in December 2013, this book that Tom Clancy released, in the book again, it continues on. It tells you that World War III would begin with the annexing of Crimea by Russia. Imagine that. Released December 2013, and only 3-4 months later, the exact scenario unfolds. He goes on to say in the book, and I believe that's why they killed him, because he would have been on the news. Everyone would have been asking him, how did you know this? How did you know this? It's because he's friends with George Bush. George Bush is an Illuminati sellout. His grandpa is the backbone of the your Federal Reserve. I don't know what to say, folks. The history is there. Now, in this latest book, in December 2013, he talks about how after they've annexed Crimea, World War III would continue on escalating when Russia would start annexing other countries, other cities around Crimea, because they want to apparently protect their oil wells, the pipelines. If you want to buy that story, that's fine. But I'm telling you that, and it's posted at Connecting Dots 1, I've got information on these guys. All of our leaders are all in it together. It's all a load of BS. This is what they call the theater of war, folks. So that's why I'm not reporting on this. I'd rather report common sense truth on this. Now, going back to this story, I'm not going to read the entire story. You can hit the space bar if you want and read it as your own leisure. But it goes on to talk about an underwater blast. That's interesting because you can read the whole story here. They can't figure out how this suddenly appeared here. But at the end of the story, at the bottom, it says here, a tidal wave more than 2 meters tall battered the beaches of Odessa and Lynchvik Friday. Eyewitnesses claimed its emergence had been preceded by an uproarious sound of an explosion. And if you don't know where this is, Odessa, here's Ukraine. It sits along the edge here of the Black Sea. Lynchvik is another little town a little further down. I got some video for you and some pictures if you want to see. Now, in the story, previous story, they talk about it's a good thing that, with all this war that's going on in Ukraine, well, as you can imagine, tourism's at an all-time low. So they're saying it's a good thing the beaches weren't busy because there may have been fatalities. I'm not quite sure. I do have some pictures here showing that the water came in quite high, but I think because it was midday, everyone was awake, and also because the wave wasn't that high. As you can see here, these people are standing on the sidewalk, and in front of them is a stretch of road, and those boats, well, they're bumped up where the beach normally starts. As you can see in the pictures down below here, there's a little bit of a drop off after that road. So this town is sitting right on the edge of the ocean. And there's another picture here. You can see the gentleman standing at his gate looking out on the sidewalk, and down below here on the left, the bottom, you can see a ladder here. Well, that's the step down into that area I was telling you about, how this water is basically rushed up well over 3 feet, 4 feet just in this picture alone. And that's quite clear when you take a look at this other picture here. You can see where the normal shoreline sits. And, well, looks like the water went up quite high. You can even look at along the edge of this wall here. You can see where it's still kind of wet. There's no doubt about it. They got hit with some type of weird tidal wave. Now, long story short, I got some video here. No one apparently was hurt in this situation, but you'll be able to see here how, well, some people were kind of slow at moving off the beach, and there's even a fellow here out on the beach, or actually there's 2 people there, and you can see the water rushing in. They're just not moving yet, but they're about to start moving real fast when they realize, hold on a second here. Now, I'm not going to play the entire footage here. I got another video, and I just want to let you all know that this took place and no one's talking about it. And I don't know why. If you go to connectingdots1.com, you'll notice I put up a thread there on the possibility of a massive earthquake, or a fairly big one, hitting here on the west coast on July 12th. I'm not trying to fear you, but I've been studying this solar effects and whatnot, the moon phases. I don't want to get into it in this video, but if you go watch the video, you'll be able to figure out, or read the thread, you'll be able to figure out what I've picked up so far. Does this have anything to do with any water or a moon phase? I'm not quite sure. I doubt it very much. It does seem that there was some type of occurrence that took place offshore that would have sent this in, because they don't have an earthquake. I mean, there's no reporting of an earthquake, so I believe it was probably an underwater explosion. Seems like it. I mean, we have people saying they heard an explosion, so I'd probably tend to believe the people. If the people are saying they've heard a massive explosion and saw the wave coming in, then chances are that's the truth. Is it a military something? I'm not quite sure. It is very odd, though, I must admit. Is it possibly a submarine in the Black Sea? I don't think so. But something did take place, and nonetheless, they're concerned about it. Okay, folks, and another video here I'll be making up very shortly. It's on Realist News, chasing it for, I don't know if you know him or not, but the scam never ends with this guy, and his most recent one is he's opened up a Minecraft place for you to join up with your kids. Now, I'll be showing in my video how he's been tracking you all the way back when he started this freespeak.net. Anyone who took the time to read the terms of policy, it was quite clear that, you know, basically you're giving freespeak.net the right to share everything that you post on that website. So it's free speech, all right, but not the free speech you think it is, because I actually joined this place and they banned me. Can you imagine that? Oh, not because I was swearing, because I was speaking the truth. Okay, that's it, folks. Beware of the scammers, beware of the tides, and stay tuned here as I knock a hole in these sack of liars, because Jason at 4 is not the only one. He's actually connected to a large network of silver shills. And I've been collecting them. I mean, I plan on making a video on this because I want you all to know who the scammers are and how they're all interconnected. Okay, so it's a long story. This is just one here. I've got, as you can see, I've got lots of stuff that I've been saving up. So these guys are going to be getting it here real soon. But I just want to give you a heads up. Stay out of his Minecraft crap and don't get suckered in with any of his superfoods. And JM Bullion, I've pointed out, they control his Realist News. They banned me from there for speaking the truth. Why? Because I'm actually able to call the highs and lows and silvers, and these guys don't like that crap. What can I say? It's all about making money, and they don't care about you. Okay, folks, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care.